Okay, today we're going to make buying a house sound really, really scary, but at the end of it, we're going to alleviate your fears and make sure that you are prepared to be able to be relaxed when you go make that purchase. So, in this big decision segment, let's chat about buying a house. When, why, things like that. So when do you buy a house? Obviously you buy a house when it's cheapest as possible. However, sometimes the market becomes crazy and it becomes a seller's market. Is that really the best time to get into your first house? You might feel that way just because if you don't buy it today, tomorrow it's going to be even more expensive. So you really need to look and analyze what's going on. Chat with other professionals, whether it be lawyers or real estate professionals, lawyers that are in the real estate realm. Those, like a lawyer that's dealing with divorce, probably not the best, but somebody that deals with real estate and is in that market a lot. You want to make sure that you are properly informed with getting into that big decision. So, how do you get into that big decision? Well, guess what? You're going to have to save. And it's not going to be saving for 6 months. It's going to be saving for a long period of time. So, and that could mean a number of years to be able to save up for a proper down payment so that you're able to get in and not be house poor. Because guess what? When you own a house, it's completely different than renting. Owning a house, you are now responsible for all the maintenance on the appliances, the home itself, the yard, the fence, all those things associated with the house, that's all on you. So you got to make sure that you have the proper resources and that you're prepared to be able to cover that stuff off, especially if you're buying a new home. So you're comparing a new home with an existing home. Guess what? Most of us go, oh, this is a 1,500 square foot home. This one's a 1,500 square foot home. This one costs $400,000. This one costs $400,000. But this one's brand new, so I get all the new stuff. But what's not usually included in that is landscaping. So that means sod or grass seed if you want to wait a while for your grass to come up. Fencing. That means dealing with your neighbors if you don't want to do it all by yourself, to make sure that you can share the cost with a fence, which is all great if your neighbors are of the same mind frame. But you know what? Especially in starter homes, when you're building a starter home, most neighbors are going to be house poor because they didn't plan, and now they're like, ooh, a fence. I don't want to have a fence, but is it okay if my dog runs through your yard and poops in your dirt until you have grass, because then they'll poop in your dirt or grass? So you want to be able to prepare for that stuff and be prepared for neighbors not to work with you as well. So sometimes you're going to be responsible for them 100% as opposed to sharing the cost with others. So other things to look at, you want to make sure that you are saving. Whether it's a new house or an existing house, you want to make sure that you are saving for appliance repairs, furnace replacement, hot water tank replacement, all those types of things. Shingles, insurance, any maintenance around the house. You want to make sure that you're saving for that stuff. On the insurance side, you might have insurance on your house if something happens. So if a fire guts your house, that's all great. They're going to build your house, but where do you live? What do those costs look like? Do you have enough for the deductible? Are you able to cover that off so that the insurance can deal with the repairs to your house? Those are all things that you need to make sure that you have in place so that your life doesn't miss a beat. So just make sure that you've got that in place, because honestly, your life will be way happier if you plan for the unforeseen. And if it doesn't happen, great. And if it happens, not great, but you're prepared and you don't have to worry about it. So How would you like to live with less stress? Budgeting helps you live with less stress. So save more, spend less, because really that's what you're doing in your budget. You want to save all that money so that you can live the fancy life now and in the future, just because you budget and you make different choices. So have a look at what that is. If you've got a partner, check it out with your partner. Make sure that you guys are on the same page and go forward from there. And your life will be so much happier if you do not have to stress about money. So now that we've scared you that you've got to live on Kraft Dinner for the rest of your life, because, we all spend more and save less, we want you to look at the save more, spend less aspect and look at the pros to owning a house. So, one, guess what? It's your own house. You can do whatever you want with it. You can paint the wall colors, anything. You can put whatever holes in your wall. You can change up room sizes. You can change up fixtures. You can do whatever you want in the house. However, to do all that stuff, you still got to save. You got to plan, right? So again, save more, spend less, because when your partner says, hey, I'd like to have a new kitchen, you go, all right, we've got the money for that. That's not a problem. So it alleviates all that stress. And then you can do that. And guess what? When you've got a happy partner, you've got a happy life. So make sure that you plan for that stuff. And if you've got it saved, it's no worries. What are other pros of owning your own home? Once you've got it paid for, and I know that might seem a long time away when you have a 25-year mortgage, but once it's paid for, guess what? You don't have that payment anymore, which means you can either save it or save some of it and spend some of it to enjoy your newfound cash flow. You'll be in a better position to retire. You talk to people, retirees, that have not paid for their house yet or are renting, and what they wish they would have done, it would have been buy a house, pay off the mortgage, and now just maintain. Because all that, when you retire at 60, 65, 70, whatever time frame that is, generally for utilities and property taxes and all those ugly things that we have to continually pay for, you've got your old age security, CPP, savings, whatever it is that is paying for that, and you've got a house to live in. And if you really need to, because you need the extra resources, you probably can sell that house and downsize into something smaller to free up cash and to be able to take that trip around the world or go on that annual cruise, whatever your retirement lifestyle looks like. So planning is good. You need to plan. It's always a cruddy thing to do just because nobody likes to plan. It's, I've got some cash, let's go have some fun. Sometimes that cash runs out when you lose a job and stuff. So you want to make sure you plan, and so that you can alleviate all that stress. Because if you don't have that stress, guess what? You'll be way happier than if you have all that stress. Another pro for buying a home is because you're settling in an area. You find a nice community, whether it's new or existing. Maybe you've got children that you're being close to a school is important to you. So these are all pros, and you can stay there. You don't have any landlord saying, well, you know what, I'm going to up the rent and up the rent and up the rent. You've got your mortgage payment, which you know what it's going to be. So this way, you're settling in, you're enjoying it, you're putting down your roots, if you will. Whereas if you're renting, you're kind of at the whim of the landlord breeze. So, think about those types of things when buying into a house. It's not just buying a home, it's putting down your roots in an area. If you're a very transient person, maybe buying a home is not the best thing for you. But think about settling down and planting those roots, because eventually, come retirement, you want to be able to have that security and that nest egg of that house. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next big decision video.